Yesterday, the first group of asylum seekers arrived on the Bibby Stockholm barge. Around 50 asylum seekers were supposed to get on it. Only 15 actually did. The refugee charity Care for Calais stopped 20 from being transferred for a number of reasons. A man suffering loss of sight, an asylum seeker who'd survived torture, slavery, and victims and others who'd had dramatic experiences at sea were some of the ones who avoided transfer. The director for asylum accommodation, who's a civil servant, had this to say.
There have been some challenges, some minor legal challenges, and I can't go into the detail of those, but we are, all accommodation is offered to all individuals on a no-choice basis.
So basically, accommodation is offered on a no-choice basis. So it's not an offer, you're told to go in. Let's just remind ourselves where this barge is. Let's zoom in here and find, if we can, on the coast of Dorset, Portland, which is just where the pin is here. And it's a marina, and obviously there's controversy about why that place has been chosen. The local MPs cross, etc. Charities are getting involved as well. What's interesting, though, is if we go in here on Google Earth and we just head east a bit from the actual marina proper. I mean, I can't be sure of this, but it looks to me like that's the barge. That looks like the Bibby Stockholm from the air. So 50 people expected to board yesterday, and as we just heard, 15 did. 20 were helped by a charity to make their case against boarding, and they didn't. The others we don't know about, but it may be the same, they refused. 500 capacity on that boat when it's full. 500. Now, the question for is how many boats you would need to house all the people who are currently in hotels. 50,000. Costing $6 million a day. How many Bibbies would we need? Nina?
100.
Debbie?
50,000 people and
50,000
in a lot.
Yes. Well, OK, so 500 in a Bibby, and you've got 50,000 in hotels costing £6 million a day. So you need that many. That's 100. I counted them earlier. Put them all in individually. You need 100. And that's just to take the people out of hotels, right? So I don't know whether we're just doing this is just a symbol of it or what. Maybe if you support the policy, you'd say it's a start, at least, Debbie.
Well, the thing is, I have been in a similar situation to them. I was caught up in Iran when I was 19, when the Ayatollah caused the revolution, and I was hidden in an apartment block with the other Europeans that I was working with.
Wow,
and,
1979,
yeah,
right?
1979. And the British Embassy was blown up. And so we didn't get any help from anywhere. So with the money we had left that we'd been earning and the number we were given to ring to the company, they'd all left the country. So we were literally kind of left. And I was very lucky. I've always been a saver. I'd saved a lot of money. So I spent 10 times what it would normally get, and I got a flight back to Switzerland. But, you know, when I look at, and I love boats, so when I look at this barge, my worry is there's a bit too many people on it. But when you are in a situation where you just want safety, a roof over your head and a bed to sleep in, they've all got bathrooms en suite. You know, they're being fed, there's a restaurant, and they're being told they will, you know, they're not in prison. They can come and go. My bigger worry is they're not being processed fast enough. I'm not worried about them getting on it.
No, OK, so what do you think, Nina? Because if we've only got, 15 people on it yesterday, and we got 50,000 in hotels, this is going to go on for the rest of our lives.
This is just what they used to call the dead cat. You know, when there's a problem, a big problem, you throw something on the desk as a dead cat. So everyone's looking at the dead cat and not actually saying, you are not solving this problem. The thing is, we have such a huge backlog, as Debbie mentioned, at 170,000.
Yeah.
Which is outrageous. So the Home Office has absolutely not been fit for purpose. That's a cliche to say that. This barge has been, and I see what you say, a roof over their heads, but it was meant for 220 people. It's now 500.
Well, because they put bunk beds in it.
They put bunk beds in them. But then you have to think about fire hazard. You have to think about disease, illness. If somebody got ill or COVID's still going round, actually. They'll go through the like wildfire. But it is like a prison. It's not where they're getting their fresh air.
Well, they're allowed to get on and off it.
Yeah, but get on off and then do what? stand on the dock. There's nothing there.
But walk into town.
But walk into town and do what?
Well, I don't know, but that's, I suppose, in the nature of it. I mean, what else? What's the alternative to this?
I mean, I've travelled a lot with the military, and when Paul and I went to visit the soldiers in the Falklands, for example, where the conditions of the weather for a start were awful, and we lived in this as well, but only for 3 weeks. They live in adapted containers, cargo containers, and they're in 6 bunks or metal uncomfortable beds, not with a bathroom en suite. Yes, they've got things to do, but it's still the same. There's nothing on the Falklands you can do.
So the barge itself you don't see as being a bad place?
No, I really don't. I think they're not imprisoned, and they also, what I think we've all read this morning, that if they go into town and they're late back and they miss the last bus at 11 o'clock, they're being given a special number to ring that taxis will pick them up for free and take them back. So it's not all bad.
Okay, so
safety is
the Home Office, the civil servant we saw said it's being offered as a no-choice option, which means you're basically told to get on it. And we're asking whether it's fair if a migrant says, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I don't want to, for whatever reason. It might be health, it might be that they've traumatised by sea travel. Shelley in Newcastle, should they be allowed to say no?
No, they shouldn't. They sleep in tents for months in Calais, and then they come over. They've complained about the hotels and everything as well. These are mostly young men, and can I just say, they keep saying they need to get processed. A lot of these tear up the documents, and if you haven't got a passport, it's impossible to say which country they come from, and we can't kick these people out. I've seen loads of programmes. If they can't find the passport where these people come from, they can't kick them out.
Understood.
I mean, it's almost just like a cruise ship or a hotel on the water. I mean, how do these people keep getting legal aid? My friend tried to get legal aid. She's got little money.
Well, I don't know if they are getting, I don't know what the legal aid position is, but certainly they're being helped by a charity at the moment, a lot of them, that's for sure.
And that care for Calais, their head woman, she was having an affair with an asylum seeker in Calais.
Who was?
She was terrible.
I don't know what that's all about. All right, Shelley, thank you.
Not a cruise ship. It's absolutely not a cruise ship. If anyone's been on a cruise ship, it's nothing like that, let me tell you.
Well, I don't think I have been on one, but I do take your point. Clearly, it's not got table tennis.
No, it's not that. As I say, it's you're not locking up, but you're confining a load of young testosterone-driven men in a confined space. That's it's asking for trouble.
Yeah, well, of course, but you've just got to find an alternative if you think this shouldn't be done, and that's the difficulty, isn't it?